turning red. See how wonderfully,
There we go.
there we go. Now we'll see what the feed is.
Shannon can check it.
I'm working on getting it, I'm pulling that up right now. Doesn't it go red up there, Jim, now? I thought that was supposed to go red, or does it go green when it's
That
recording?
goes, or that's red too.
I have no idea what it's looking at. It looks like it's looking at the. So, yeah.
Looking at the screen?
Oh, it's right there. That one?
Is that the camera or is that that's the projector?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know.
Newfangled systems, Jim.
Oh,
Can you see what it's doing?
Alright, let's see,
it's going backwards.
Oh, it is, oh, now it's coming, now it's at the ceiling.
Ceiling? We get televised on
Supposed to be
YouTube, I
televised.
think.
At the ceiling.
Well, I got to spin.
I've never looked
It's
myself
spinning.
up.
It stops. So let's rotate it around.
Oh, yeah, you have to rotate it.
I wanna know who touched
Its
this.
camera is on,
Camera's on?
the camera's on, I'm looking
What
at
are you
the back
looking
of
at?
it, I'm looking at the back of it right now,
That's good, great.
and it's
How about the
moving,
volume?
it's moving, let me see.
Here it goes.
Here it comes,
Turn.
here it comes, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh, look at that. Wow.
There you go. That's it.
Yep, it does, it's recording volume too, Jim.
Okay,
Good.
Good job.
happiness.
Do you want, can you see where it's looking at now? This hasn't caught up yet,
Hasn't gone up, no?
you can see where it's looking now. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Everybody took it for a ride. Okay.
I call to order the regular meeting of the East Haddam Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission on this Tuesday, January 21st at 7:32 p.m. Jim, would you call attendance, please?
Randolph Dill,
Here.
Mary Augustini absent, Brian Goff absent, Daniel Janey.
Here.
Jennifer Burton Reed,
Here?
David Walls.
Here. Thank you. Minutes of our last meeting, have you had a chance to read them over? They look good to me. The only thing I saw was on page 4. And this is a picky one, Shannon. Last paragraph down. Paragraph starts off Mr. Dill. And probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 lines down. There's the word as, I think it should be was.
Is it the paragraph that starts discussion ensued related to what could be seen on the field walk, is that one? Where are we?
The major heading is storm drainage to town roads. Page 4.
Oh, storm drainage, okay, my page numbers are different than yours.
Maybe not. Why do I have?
Why do we, what's
Why
going on
do
here,
they hand
Jim?
you the 19th?
Oh, you handed me the wrong, you
I'm
handed me the
sorry.
wrong one.
Should be,
Just change as
should
to
be
was
was.
in the third paragraph, thank you, okay.
Picky little thing.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Anyone else?
I did. Yeah, I had, one item, in, 2 under attendance, Mr. Dill appointed, I think I was appointed.
Oh, yeah, the rest of that sentence didn't get finished, I will finish that, yep, it was Mr. Walls in place of the applicant.
Yeah, and while we're on Mr. Walls, 6C.
Yep.
You have motion by Ms. Walls.
Oh,
So,
dang it, I was so careful too, okay.
That's all I
And since you reminded me of that, I will appoint Mr. Walls as a voting member tonight in the absence of the regular members. A motion to approve.
I move we approve the minutes as amended.
Second. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Good. I did not have any bills in my
Bills.
packet. field inspection report, did I do? We had 3 inspections, I can't remember off the top of my head, but attending the field inspection was myself, David Walls, and Jim. Do you have a list of,
We went to, first we went to North Ludus Road for the application of David and Joanne Shelberg. Then we went to 432 Town Street for Scott Earlison, and then finished at 40 Basin Road for Rodney Cohn.
thank you.
What day was that held on?
Thursday, the 21st.
16th?
16th.
Okay, Thursday the 16th.
Yep, that was the 16th,
Yep.
Thursday, yep. Thank you. Wetlands permit review, item A, application IWWC 24-28. This is at 40 Basin Road. Rodney Cohn and Theodore Cohn are property owners, map 058, lot 143, and this is for a proposed driveway. Rodney, you wanna just, for the record, give us a brief
Okay.
rundown?
Pretty simple. I mean, we're looking to put a driveway in on the property of 40 Basin Road. Because the right-of-way is such a problem. The guy refused the right-of-way. There's actually 2 right-of-ways that go to the cottage, one for the cottage, one for the farmland. And he denied the right-of-way, and then he put another right-of-way behind the barn, and which really was not of suitable quality for getting up to the farmland or even getting an oil truck into the cottage. I witnessed some of the issues with it. So that's pretty much it.
So this driveway, and I'm just trying to get information in the record, this driveway will serve both access to fields as well as the residence that's there.
Yes.
So, and Jim, I think you said in the field inspection that the second driveway that was supposed to be the right of way for use by the Cohns, there are some issues with that. You issued a cease and desist on it.
There's a cease and desist on it, cause he didn't come and pull a wetland permit, and then while I was out there, he did not box it out properly and put down a proper gravel base. He hasn't come back, so, you know, I'm more than willing to, it's sitting there, it's his issue right now, but, it wasn't constructed properly, so.
Again, just for the record, there's some things that has to be done because of some wetlands and runoff there. Could you just describe those for us?
Okay, what looks like 2 pipes need to be put in, because there's runoff coming from the 8 acres on the other side of the farmhouse. That's one of them, and some runoff from the farmland behind the barns there. So, and also we would need to fill some of the area to keep the grade less than 8% in that first area of that driveway.
So you're proposing, I'm looking at this correctly, 2 pipes
Yep.
to handle any runoff.
Yep.
It's concentrated.
15 inch and a 12 inch.
Says 18 inch, one's an
Okay.
18,
Okay.
and the other's a 12.
Yep.
The 18.
Now, the first one that you come to, that has to be the larger one. That has to be the 18. Because that's what we figured out, that the runoff from the 8 acres runs through that one. So that, we didn't know. You know, we looked further later on and decided, oh, okay, after we had written that down. So the first pipe needs to be the 18 second one needs to be the 12. Is from what we gathered on the runoff.
You thought there might be a pipe somewhere.
Yeah, there is a culvert in the backyard, the barnyard over there. That might run underneath there somewhere, I don't really know. That was all done before my time.
Okay, and according to this is the first time I've seen this, so bear with me. It's calling for 12-foot wide driveway, and that's to accommodate machinery.
Yep,
Yes.
yep,
There's gonna be some fill.
yep.
Do you have any sense how much fill?
No, I don't.
So you're gonna have to do some cutting, to get down to.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I think I was talking to you before, just digging out the organic material and putting fill or sandy gravel or something to build that up to keep it at 8%. We can't have it any steeper than that. We could if we wanted to pave it, but I don't.
According to this, it's an install 8-inch depth, 4-inch minus gravel.
Yeah.
With the 4-inch depth.
That's
of
the top,
processed gravel material.
that's the top, right? That's not the filled area.
Okay, it doesn't really describe
Okay.
how much fill it's going in.
Says bank run gravel to be used for fill.
Okay, and it looked like, when we were out there, you're gonna have to cut through the hedgerow
Yep,
to access, to get to the driveway.
Yep.
To the cottage.
Yep.
And then beyond that to the fields.
correct, it'll go straight into the field there.
And then, according to this, you're going to have topsoil, and you're gonna seed the areas that are exposed.
Yep.
Okay.
Which lot is this gonna be put in? This one?
It's that one.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
this
going on
is-
this side?
Yeah, this was supposed to be, well, of record is the right of way.
Okay, and I see
Goes all the way to
this here
see
too, so,
this
okay.
dwelling. So this is the Cone property, and this is the area we're talking about. The driveway basically goes
Yeah, cause it's
right up-
right up the,
Yeah. through the.
the property line. Okay, thank you.
David, you were out there, sidewalk, anything you wanna add?
No, the information hasn't really changed all that much. How are you sizing those pipes, like the 18-inch, is that just kind of a guess of some sort?
There's an 18-inch pipe down below that goes right near the town road that these two pipes will go into, and I've never had a problem with the 18-inch. So that's why we figured maybe a 15 and a 12, but 18 and 12, it can be that. I kind of forgot what we wrote down there. So that's how we came up with that. Figured that would work.
How often do you see water flow?
Well, it wasn't all summer, but it,
So it's intermittent,
yeah,
but in spring probably.
yeah, I can drive through that. You know, it's dry enough to drive through it when it's not raining, so it's not a whole lot.
And prior to this was pasture area.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, Dan?
And the driveway is all permeable material all the way through.
Oh, yeah,
No intention of paving.
no, trying to stay away from that. I mean, I'd love to pave it, but I think it's getting a little pricey for us.
Well, actually, it's better too, but it's not.
Yeah,
All right, Jennifer, anything?
Nope, I don't have
Entertain a motion, then?
Yeah, I'll move that we approve application IWWC 24-28-40 on Bashan Road. Robert Cohn applicant, Theodore Cohn property owner, map 058, lot 143 for the construction of a proposed driveway. Like pictures provided to the land use office upon completion.
Okay.
Any other stipulations we wanna add?
Just a
That's
quick
Rodney.
correction, it's Rodney,
yeah.
Rodney Cohen.
My apologies.
That's all right. Just,
There's a Robert, so we don't wanna get
Yeah,
confused
yeah.
of who's what.
What's
I
the
think
plan
that's the
stated?
confusion, actually.
Revised today.
we can
Revised
switch,
today.
He
switch
switched
to
the
that.
pipes, so I got the copy of that.
Revised today?
Okay, you got a copy.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second,
Motion second, any further discussion? None, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye, opposed, say no. We're good, we're good.
That's it?
Yep, that's it, thanks for coming in.
Easy peasy.
Thank you.
Alrighty, good night.
Thank
Ted,
you.
take care of yourself.
Yes, yeah, have a good year, too. Yeah,
Good luck with all.
very good. Saw your mother the other day, she comes and visits Jean, Aunt Jean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because it's right next to the farm.
yeah.
And, so anyway, I pull in every once in a while, not too often, but anyway, your mother's in
Oh,
it.
glad to
Yeah,
see you. Oh, that's great.
it was good.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Huh?
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
yeah,
it was good. Yeah, get talking about old stuff.
Well, I'm best love to do that.
and-
Good to see you, Uncle
All
Ted.
right, yes,
Yeah,
you
take
too.
care.
Alright, see you later.
All
All right,
right.
take care, Ted.
yeah,
Jennifer, did you second that?
yes, I did.
I didn't. Sorry.
Item B, application IWWC 24-29. This is at 432 Town Street. Scott Erlinson is the applicant and property owner, map 037 lot 067, proposed addition to existing building. And this is the second B. Scott, you wanna give us a rundown for the record of your project?
Sure, yeah. Well, probably one of the ugliest pieces of property in town. 432 Town Street, looking to keep the existing building and add on to the back of it, to make it adequate size. It'll remain 2-bathroom, tiny office, warehouse space for the rest. I think it'll be somewhere around 8,000 square feet.
So before you purchased it, the property was used, I'm just trying to get a little history in here on it,
I really don't know what it was used for.
okay?
Yeah, it's been vacant from 30-something years from my recollection and what I've heard stories about and what have you,
So we found when we did the field work, some interesting things out there.
and that's clean.
Yeah, well, I realized there was a lot of stuff there,
Yep.
and you pretty well cleaned it up. There's a
Yeah.
big pile of topsoil. What are your plans for that?
That was all there, I just kind of pushed it out of the way, after just regrade whatever needs to get graded with and all the rest out.
Is there a possibility that it can be removed or you can use it for something else?
Yeah, if it's not,
Only because I mean, there's some things, you're gonna be pretty close to the wetlands, there's a
Yeah.
running stream there.
there's a stream when it rains there.
Okay, yeah, and you're gonna be pretty close, so as part of some mitigation.
Yep.
That could be removed, because that's also in wetlands according to the,
Yeah,
at least part of it's in
I think
wetlands.
the existing building doesn't meet the 100 feet anymore.
Yeah, right. And also on the back side of it, I think you discovered what was the septic system?
Yep, yeah, septic's fine. I had a septic guy come in and do it. He did the D-box, redid the D-box to the old pipes. The inlet pipe he cambered from the existing building. It is broke at the tank, which is no big deal, just we'll put a new one in when the time comes. And the rest of it's usable. We had Reddy Reuter suck it out and do an inspection. I'm waiting on the report from him now.
How big is the leach field, do you know?
There was 3 different directions it went, and all those old pipes, I don't know, there were 3 different types of pipes as well. They were short, 2-3 feet, so they were made to leak between each of them. Every one of them went 40 feet in every direction. 40, 41, I'm not 100% off memory.
Okay.
But he cambered each direction, and all of them were clean.
So,
The D-box was concrete. We found it with a shovel, and it literally broke.
are you gonna, I guess I'm a little confused the map here. The one that's closest to the existing entrance, is that an existing septic line or is that new? You're proposing a new one?
No, the septic's gonna be reusable.
So they're because he's putting an addition on, the public health code requires you to demonstrate that if the existing system fails, you have another area for a code compliant septic system before you're granted a permit for an existing. So that's demonstrating, they did test pits out there and it's demonstrating that if this system fails,
Could put one there.
you could put one there and the new building isn't taking away some usable septic area.
So this is the backup,
Yes. Yep.
and the existing one that we saw, the concrete
Concrete.
is existing, that's what's there.
Yep.
Scott, again, because you're pushing the building even closer to the wetlands, I know what you do, but for the record and for the rest of the commission, could you explain how the building's gonna be used?
Yeah, self-employed for 25 years. I put automotive equipment in, car lifts and garages and dealers, air compressors. Basically it hosts pretty much a warehouse, small office. I think the office is gonna be 20 by 20.
Is
The
there
rest
gonna,
of it's warehouse space, parked trucks and all the inventory
okay,
that we end up using. And every day a guy myself or another guy might show up and get a truck and leave for the day.
now I don't know all the details of your business.
Yeah.
Do you have to use a lot of chemicals, oils, fuels? I mean, you have to
No.
fuel trucks and that sort of thing, do you intend to have a,
No fuel station or anything. We go to the diesel pumps.
Okay.
We do work Connecticut, Mass and Rhode Island. It wouldn't make sense for us to have any sort of.
so there wouldn't be any special needs for containment in case there's a leak?
No.
Because you are so close to the wetland. And I think Jim said you plan to do some plantings in the area.
If you ask me to, I will.
Well, I think it would be a good idea, the vice chairman's not here, she's usually a stickler for that,
Okay.
having planting, especially near, as close as you are to the wetlands.
Like a vegetative buffer in back.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
vegetative buffer behind the building that's closest to the,
Would I be able to still maintain it? Kind of OCD.
Yeah, no, you've got,
I like to mow around everything, not let it,
right.
clean.
You also said, this one says that the length of the steel building is 47, is it still 47 or did?
The length is 93.
Right, but then the width.
The
going-
width is 47.
You mentioned something about cutting it back 6 feet, or is that
Well, I
cut
think
back?
on your proposal, I had it at 20 feet.
yeah,
It's
The existing
22.
building, then I was gonna add 20, and then I was gonna add a steel building that I got. I'm gonna go down to 16 feet, so I'm actually, I didn't think I'd have, I thought I'd have more roof pitch after finally running calculations.
Yeah.
We won't have enough grade to pitch the roof, so I can't go to 20.
So instead of 22 feet, it'll be 26 feet. So you can, from the wetlands.
Oh, from the wetlands?
Yeah,
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 correct.
so in the first 6 feet from the wetlands, you could plant something, still mow and have 20 feet
Yeah,
to mow.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. No, it wasn't
Like
gonna be
keeping
brush
things-
all the way up to it,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
it's kind of like a visual barrier to make the guy that's mowing the lawn
Yeah.
recognize he's gotta
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, no, that's fine, as long as I put a lawnmower behind it just to maintain it, I have no
So
problem.
this width is gonna change from 47 to 41?
No, the inside one, it's 20 feet in the middle,
Uh-huh.
that one's going from 20 to 16.
20 to 16.
I see, alright,
That's where he's,
that's where the
The
6.
existing building's a flat roof, and we're gonna put a pitched roof over it, connect it right to the steel building. Steel building's 2 pitch, and the rest of it'll be 1. I thought I'd have it at 20 with my calculations, but they weren't good enough. We had it drawn up, and the guy says no. I'm like, alright, we'll go to 16 then.
you're gonna use the existing well, I think it looked like a dug
Yeah.
well.
I've never opened it, but I planned on it, yeah. The pump
You
and
plan
bladder
to use
tank, everything's inside, obviously would need to get replaced, but yeah. Yeah, I wasn't gonna try to.
Other than, I mean, you've already done a lot of work there, grading and cleaning up. Once all of that's done, you get the building, what else, you have any other plans for the property?
Put a dumpster out there, just for general trash.
Okay, and again, that mound of topsoil.
You're talking about the one closer to Daniels Road, cause there's two of them, there's another one up the front, both of them were kinda there. I
This
just,
is
Th-
by the
this one-
septic system.
Yeah, this is by the septic
Yeah.
system.
yeah, everything will get cleaned up, I was just gonna leave them until the end, just, they're already there, they're not in the way to do any work.
Yeah, no, it's not like we're saying you gotta do that before you
Yeah.
do any building.
Yeah.
It's just that in the end, if it could go away,
Oh, absolutely,
that would be,
yeah, 100% will.
that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, once we, if everything goes well, obviously I'll put up my barrier, hay bales probably.
Yeah.
You know, right to it before we do any work.
Well, I was just gonna ask, what's involved with the driveway expansion? So it looks like the south side of the building, there's a driveway that doesn't exist that is gonna get created.
I'm not
So
sure.
it's proposed driveway.
That was
expansion.
proposed, yeah. I hate north entrances to anything. I mean, if you do get that nasty winter, if it's not usable, I kinda wanted another option.
Is that, so like what's involved, like clearing and grading?
It's all just
for
wide
it,
open.
or is it just putting, is it gravel?
Yeah, I just put road melons or gravel, absolutely.
Help me, Dan, I'm not seeing what you're
Where it says
talking about.
on the proposed drive, so it's showing like, I think this is the existing driveway,
yep.
and then it looks like this is getting expanded, this piece here, and then this whole piece to the south looks like new. Proposed driveway expansion. See it?
It'd go around the back of the building to Daniel's roadside.
Oh, okay, now I see it now. It's,
On that,
there's so many lines in it, so it's hard
Yeah.
it's hard to see.
It's
Okay.
like a pink.
between the building and the wetland?
Between the building and the septic system.
Between the building and Town Street,
Okay,
and then the between,
That's right.
yeah,
Can you see- can you
I
see
do
where
get
it is?
tractor
I
trailers,
see where
part of
it is.
that
I would-
front, in front of the building would be to have a tractor trailer,
Have a
make the
turn-
angle,
turning
and then
radius.
back out towards the swamp to be able to turn around in there on site, rather than try to back it off a main drag.
So I guess I'm a little confused now. You say you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it?
No, that was the plan,
The proposed,
yes,
you plan on doing it?
yes.
Okay.
It'd be on the west side and the south side.
Well,
As
I think
well.
that solves the problem with that mound of topsoil.
Yeah,
because-
yeah.
Because that's gonna have to go away for you to do that.
Yep. Correct, and no, everything would be clean and neat.
Okay. Right? Anyone have anything else? Jim, anything you wanna add?
No, I mean, we condition upon planting plans and I can give them, I'll give you a list of native species that'll survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably can find most in your backyard.
Well, it's not much vegetation there, it's right to that wetlands.
Yeah.
Is 3 feet of gravel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it barely grew grass, I did it with a lawnmower, I didn't even go in there with a brush hog. Because it was gravel, you just start driving on it, all the gravel kinda starts working its way back up.
So, the last question I had, it looks like on here that this parcel is 2.247 acres. Right, that's what it says on here. All right, anything else? Anyone else? A motion?
I move that we approve the application IWWC 24-29 432 Town Street, Scott Erlinson, applicant and property owner, map 37, lot 67, proposed addition to existing building with plans amended.
12/5 or is it amended?
Yeah,
Is,
yeah,
where's the
12/5.
address?
December 5th.
Yeah,
Okay, December 5th, with an addition of a planting
Native
plans and
planting.
nating, yeah, you got it,
And do you want photos provided to the land use office as well?
yes,
And also the removal of the topsoil,
and removal of the topsoil.
that mound of topsoil. Topsoil, I don't know if it's topsoil per se, it could be
Whatever it looks like.
anything.
Yeah, definitely organic matter.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll say.
Motion and a second, any further discussion?
Yeah, so these plans on the fifth still showed us 22 feet to the wetlands, and that's actually 28 feet, is our
20,
understanding now?
it'll be 26.
26.
So I'll say with plans dated 12/5 with the addition, with the change of, what is it, what's the plan, 26 to 25?
22
to
26.
26.
22 feet to. From the wetlands, right?
Correct. Okay. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye, opposed say no. Good. Any questions, Russ?
Thank you.
Mike, thank you. Item C, application IWWC 24-30, this is at North Moodus Road. David and Joanne Shelberg are the applicant and property owners. Map 081 lot 032. Proposed activity in the upland review for construction of the driveway and grading for the house.
You got some revised plans?
New maps.
The owner would like to be here.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
When did he discover that?
So I've got some revised plans there. So three items that came up at the last meeting, which I'd like to address. The first one was, Randy asked to see what the overall property looked like. The plan that we submitted was kind of focused on where the house was going. So this is the A2 boundary survey for the 8 acres, 8 acre parcel. And this is where our house is going. So on that detailed plan, that's the house location. One of these for the file. The second item was question about quality of the wetland that we were talking about. Or how the activity would take place. We had soil scientist Rich Snarky come out. Take a look at it. It was a report, a one-page report. Take one pass at that. So he looked at it, he evaluated the wetland, which is this wetland area here. And I think he looked at 4 characteristics. Flood control and wildlife habitat, pollutant renovation. He rated that wetland low on all those. And then the fourth one, which was sediment trapping, he gave it a moderate rating. So I think it just confirms what we all saw when we went out there. It doesn't appear to be a high quality wetland. Partially man-made, partially from erosion over the years. Drainage patterns were a little different. But it's solid. And the third thing is we did add limit of clearing on the map respect to the house and the driveway. So we submitted the application. We had a driveway location at the request of the owner that came in kind of at the south end of the lot and traversed down this very steep slope to the house. And then we wound up, we looked at it more and got more information. We came up with a second alternate, which is a little further north on the property in terms of the curb cut. So we've got these 2 alternates. Our preference would be the northern entrance. And the reasons for that are, number one, cuts and fills would be substantially less. For instance, on this southern entrance, we're looking at 6 or 7 feet of grade change. And that's primarily because it's so steep as you come in here that you can't pitch the driveway steep enough to match existing grade. So we're limited to 12 to 15%, and the grade drops off maybe like 25%. So we never catch up, and we have to make up that difference with fill. Whereas on the northern entrance, we're very much closer at the curb cut, elevation-wise, in the road to where we are with the driveway coming into the house. I think there's probably about 5 or 6 feet of difference from one end to the other under the northern alternate, and there's close to 24 feet of difference if you look at the southern one, because the road is substantially higher from north to south. So not only is there less disturbance in terms of cuts and fills, the driveway slopes are a lot less as well because of that. So instead of these 12 to 15% grade we're looking at here, these are substantially less than 10%, less probably than 8%, most of it. So for those reasons, even though we're closer to the wetland with the northern curb cut, that's what we would prefer to use. Less cuts, less disturbance, flatter driveway, less problems down the road with erosion. And based on the Snarsky report, it doesn't appear to be a high quality wetland. So given all those things, we're hoping that we can get an approval on the northern. We could do either one. I think it makes more sense to do
I agree with you on the change. I think far less disturbance having the driveway come in from the north. Just as part of the discussion we had out there, the contours show, we talked about where that southern driveway comes in. There's a really deep cut there, kind of a gorge where the water used to run. And you indicated that that water's gone away because the town has changed the flow. So it's not picking up the road runoff anymore. That's been diverted downhill, just past that northern proposed access.
about 30 feet. So I think what changed there is it used to sheet flow off the road and along an alignment here that went into what is now mapped as the wetland. But if you look at the road now, that was problematic. So what the town did at some point was they came in and they curbed the entire length on both sides of North Moodus Road. So there's a curb here, and they put in catch basins and drainage, catch basins all along the road here. So essentially what they did is they diverted what used to come off towards this wetland, and they collected it down to a point that's about 20 or 30 feet north of our north proposed curb cut, and discharged it onto the property. Admittedly created a secondary eroded issue, but that's there now. It's not quite as bad as the first.
Roger, my concern, and it probably is a nothing burger, but the contour is still shown. I'm trying to think, right here is where that area used to collect water. That's kind of gone away, but I'm thinking that there's still the possibility you're going to get some runoff from this property up here, down, across. You've got the culvert going across here. Is there any need for any water that collects down this little ravine?
I know you brought that up, and we did look at it. But the thing that this plan shows, based on the field contours that we have, is that this driveway is constantly downhill. There's no low point from here all the way to the house. It doesn't go down and then back up again. And so what will happen is any flow that's coming from adjacent on the property is going to go into the driveway. It's gonna follow the driveway downhill. And the flow's gonna continue like this. This, by the way, is a fill. All the way in here is fill. So it's elevated. It's like a barrier to this flow.
Well, I'm sorry, I kind of took you off where we were going. I agree with this. My only concern is the water. Are you gonna have erosion of the driveway where it's trying to cross here to get down here to the wetland? Or are you gonna pick it up and cross it here?
Well, one thing, because of this alternate, because of the steepness, the driveway's gotta be paved by. So that's gonna help on the erosion. It's gonna be a paved driveway the full length, has to be.
I'm sorry, even this has to be paved?
No, this,
Well, let's forget this,
Okay.
okay? Let's go with this, just
Yep.
for a discussion. So any water that's coming down through this little gorge or ravine, how is it gonna get past your driveway to the wetlands? Or is it gonna erode?
you know, what, I know what you're getting at, but if you look at these contours, it doesn't show that, it doesn't show a defined ravine.
Yeah, but it does here, Roger. See where the contours are? Right here? It comes down through here. I'm not an engineer, so if I'm wrong about that.
We got pitch coming down here, and I think there's a high point intermediary here, that goes this way. And we'll take a look at it, but I don't think we're gonna need to do that.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is there a need for a culvert here to get this any water that may come down through this little ravine to get it across your driveway without washing it out?
We'll take a look at that.
Or the alternative that is armoring the embankment, so it follows
Yeah,
to the,
It comes down here to
it's probably a solution.
yeah.
the, or move this up even, just this
Put some kind of swale in to channel it down to the
to the,
the crossing you're showing, if based on the contours, this is 346. Some kind of
Yeah, so
swale.
what happens here, this actually comes back, it goes down and then comes back up again. See, that's a 3. When we first looked at it, it didn't appear like we needed it, but I'll take a second look at it. I don't
Yeah,
think.
cause I tried to walk this other proposed access, the northern one. And I was walking across the depression there, right on that, where it curves.
Fair enough, yeah.
I mean, otherwise, again, I'm good with that northern route. Rather than all that fill and cuts on the southern one. Is the applicant not happy with that? I mean, is he, are
He's
they?
on board, initially he was not, but he's on board with it now, he sees the benefits of it, so he's fully on board with the northern curb cut.
Okay. Jim?
The
thoughts?
only thing I see is that if we're gonna go with the northern curb cut, that just the erosion control needs to be added to the plan for that section. It was, put on the first section, but now that we're looking at the alternative, and I think a swale could be added to the southeast side of that curve, just to direct any possible heavy flows to get it to that catch basin, that's all. I think that's a minor modification.
I mean, I believe that there probably isn't as much water coming down through that area now because of the change that the town made, collecting it in catch basins and shooting it downhill. But I would think in a heavy rain, there's still gonna be some water just, cause that's so steep, it's gotta have to go someplace.
What about though, if you cut this curb, now you've opened the road up, is that an issue with the water running down to this catch basin?
Typically,
We'll put
Is it pitched?
apron, it's got an apron
put a
that keeps it.
Put a 2-inch lip curb in the gutter. So it's gotta come up 2 inches to get into the driveway. And that's kind of standard treatment on things like this. I think that'll take care, keep the flow in the gutter instead of going down the driveway.
David, do you have any other thoughts on this?
No, I think nothing to add. I'm in agreement with the northern, far less disruption there. And I had the same, concern about, do you need some additional culverting here just for some larger storms, so you're not accumulating water somewhere?
Roger, can you help me understand why you placed the culvert crossing where you did?
It's a low point. So what happens is we come downhill.
Oh, I see, so it's gonna pick up,
Come back uphill again.
okay,
And that's why, I think that's the basis for why we didn't think we needed culverting here, because this is uphill, it's gonna, anything that comes in here is gonna head back towards the culvert. And I'll double check that, but that was my understanding.
all right.
And then the roads, you know, the road base is crowned and above the loose leaf litter and everything else, the ground floor.
Okay, yeah, you can set our minds at ease, just give it,
Absolutely.
give it a.
I'll take a look at it and I'll get back to Jim with, I'll explain all my, either we need it and we add it, I still.
Okay.
Yeah, I think no other concerns.
All right, so I guess we need to continue, there's no urgency on
I don't think you need, I don't think you need to continue it. I mean, it's a minor, you know, it's a minor amendment if necessary that I mean, one amendment is it needs the erosion control and the other amendment is that the curvature of that southeast corner of the driveway be looked at for potential additional swale or armament.
Okay. So I, just so that I understand what you're saying, you're thinking we can move this now?
All the work is outside of the wetlands. It's not like it's in wetlands, so.
Yeah, no, it's more of a potential for erosion than it is
Yep.
anything else, I think. So to make sure, I mean, I trust that Roger's gonna take a look at it and get back to you. How does that get back to us?
I'll just add it as part of my report next month.
Okay. All right, are you, everyone else comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Motion?
Yeah, I'll move that we approve application IWWC 24-30 on North Moodus Road, property location, David and Joanne Shelber, applicant and property owner, map 081, lot 032. For construction of driveway and grading for a house, per the plans dated the 21st of this month. With revisions that plans be updated for erosion control on the northernmost driveway. And that it be reviewed for the need for additional culverting in the lower end on the proposed driveway. And that to be communicated to the land use office along with pictures of the completed project. Can you say anything here?
That's good. Second?
Second?
Just for discussion, I have one other quick question. I mean, there, on this plan, it shows limits of clearing. When we were out there, I wasn't sure how far they were going downhill and how many more trees were gonna be taken out. Did you have a sense of that, Roger?
Well, I know we did look at this entrance here and there were a couple of good sized trees there.
Yep, no, understood. But I'm thinking where the house site is, there were quite a few trees taken down. I realize for the house that's necessary, but it almost appeared that there were other trees marked. Maybe I just don't understand those markings.
I think a lot of that was marking was also for the septic system and the grading. Unfortunately, the house, way it sits, you're cutting down to get a level area. And then the septic is down gradient quite a ways. So I don't think he was far from the test pit holes that were out there.
Okay, alright,
It's a big house.
it was a little, yeah, it was a little
It's-
deceiving.
The area where the test holes were, that's already been pretty much cleared, so
Yeah.
there might be some additional clearing. on the
It
north
seemed to be
edge.
going like north.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. Just a question. Anything else for discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item D, application IWWC 25-01. This is on Honey Hill Road, north side, named Gano, Mazzella Preserve, Town of East Haddam Land Trust. Is the applicant and property owner, map 01300, lot 003, proposed construction of the bridge. Thank you, Roger.
It's a 15x3 bridge, and they submitted pictures of similar bridges that they've constructed to match what's going on there.
And this is where it's going.
Yes.
Help me understand where this is. Now, we walked out there for that trash that was in the, that's not the same, that's not the property,
That's the property.
that's the property.
This is further deeper in.
Further on it.
Further in,
Yeah, cause we didn't cross the power, did we cross the power lines to see that? No. So this is showing the proposal is further in.
so past that area that they wanted to clean up that was all that trash.
Yep.
That was as far as we went.
Correct.
I take it there's a stream up there that,
Straight, yep.
all right, so do you know, have they marked the area out? They haven't begun anything at this point.
I think they started marking out trails, but I'll make sure it's marked out.
And what's access like, okay? I'm just thinking ahead to a field walk.
Yeah, it's,
They've constructed over 2 miles of trails and opened them to the public. One of the trails crosses an unnamed stream. Of construction bridge over that unnamed stream.
All right,
I haven't hiked it yet, so I don't know what the condition of the trail is. I
It's on.
don't wanna go and say it's wonderful and then find out that it's a disaster.
wait, I'll make a motion, we schedule for a field walk for our next trip out. A motion and a second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay. Discussion.
Nothing. I should have been cut out.
All right, so at the last meeting, we talked about the Chick Grillo property.
Yep. Oh,
You and I had a
Yeah, I
conversation about it. Unfortunately, the field walk got screwed up,
hold on,
so we never made it there.
I got stuff. That's what we can talk about. We'll add that. Maybe that's why it's still there.
So we are gonna use the discussion section.
Sure.
Mr. Ventris.
For Neptune Avenue. So if you take a look at that blue line running through the center of the first page, that is intermittent stream that has 40 plus or minus acres of watershed. Notice it stops right behind the house and garage. Then if you look at the bottom of the plan, it shows up again. So you go to the second page, and this is the original subdivision plan from 1984, where they locate that pipe, yet they go back and say, we're gonna put a proposed dwelling and we're going to, you know, plan a septic system right over the top of it. Brilliant. Then you go to the next page, and they took a as-built done by Dick Zebrin, but Dick Zebrin didn't put the pipe on the as-built. So they were permitted to build a two-bay garage. Which, if you go look at the first page, you could say, yeah, it probably lines right up underneath the two-bay garage. And then Randy asked if the state actually knew that they had a culvert down there across the road, that little stem. The state actually does identify that little culvert in future work that they wanna do. So, cause they're gonna redo the roadway there, and they're gonna redo some of the culverting and the stuff. But right where the pavement ends, they show a pipe. But anyhow,
Is that right?
I've been,
Right there, okay.
yeah, I've been out there for 20 years. No one seems to listen. They went and put a fence up to block the debris from getting into the pipe.
Yeah, the fence is like 40 feet away,
Yeah.
30 feet away,
And,
uphill.
and the fence, when it gets clogged,
The fence would be.
right next to where it says 80 feet.
Okay, right up in here.
So the fence gets clogged with organic debris.
It goes around.
It goes around and floods the Chick Grillo's property, I mean, completely,
To the left.
up to the point where there's a foot of water running through the yard.
So, I mean, the fence that I saw, I don't know, it's like chain link fence or something,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
The problem is the pipe below
Right.
that goes under the garage.
Yeah.
Can't handle the water.
Well, it
Is
can't,
that because it gets plugged up?
it gets plugged up. So for all the years when that whole hill was nothing but junipers and there was no mature trees and everything else, and it's really sad, cause I can remember when there were no trees up there. And it was just juniper and a couple of cedars. Well, now it's full of oaks and maples, and they're rotting and dying, and the leaves are coming down, and it just adds to it. And so, unless it's maintained on a, weekly basis, it's a problem. But even then, you're dealing with a smaller diameter pipe. And I told them 20 years ago, it needs a trash rack, a real trash rack, a heavy duty one, that gets installed. And then when the debris gets caught up against it, when the water rises, the debris rises and allows water to go under. Real simple fix. Nobody wants to seem to do it, they all just, want a miracle cure. The worst part about it is that the town never, when accepting this plan, the town never got an easement to operate and maintain a storm drain. I don't know what was going on back then. First place, we wouldn't have ever approved it. If it's an intermittent stream and you're building over the top of an intermittent stream. Would have said, yeah, just cut that piece out, work around it, leave it, whatever. But, so if they clean that basin out, they put a trash rack in there, it's gonna go a long way to helping their problems. And they gotta maintain it. It can't be full of leaves. And it's,
So, going forward, Grillo has the problem, when that fills up, It gets plugged, the pipe gets plugged, it fills up, it goes over to his property. Going forward, who's gonna do this? Who would do it, the town? Or the guy who built the garage over the
Well,
pipe?
the guy that built the garage is long gone, he sold it to this other person, so
Well, but the other person inherited
he inherited
an issue.
an issue. Yeah, and it affects his yard just as much too. It floods around his yard also. Eats up in it, and it was a former gravel pit. It's all sand and gravel in there, so it's real easy for the water to come across the lawn and rip away the topsoil.
So where the garage is, does that fill, or did they actually dig down that deep to put that pipe in? Not that you would know necessarily. Do you have
Joe
any sense?
Golick probably put that pipe in the 1950s. Way back.
They didn't have the kind of machinery that would dig down that far.
Uh,
Well, if it's sand and gravel, like you say.
if he dug out the good stuff from that section, then backfilled it with some lesser soils, flat sand or something like that, he might have done that. I mean, I think he built half of Neptune Avenue, if I remember right.
So, again, Joe, going forward, where do we take this?
My
Because Grillo has
recommendation
the
is,
problem.
I told Chick, I said, maybe the two of you will have to get together and talk about this. I said, maybe I can talk to Public Works, I haven't had a chance to find out what the cost of this material is, that thing, but we have no easement, that's been the biggest thing, we've got no easement on it. You know, typically if there was an easement, I'd say this is easy, it's the town's problem.
Yeah, but a simple fix for Grillo would be, he's got a little bit of berm lower down as you approach the Neptune Avenue, kind of comes up the hill.
Yeah.
Just past his house, and then it ends. And the water, when that depression fills up, goes around that embankment.
Yeah.
And that's what floods his house. If he were to extend that embankment, mound, whatever, a little farther up, where's the water gonna go? Well, it's gonna go across the property where the garage is.
And probably eat away at whatever kind of berm he puts up, cause that was a lot of water in that video.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of water, and 40 acres, when it's, you know, frozen and it comes down hard. You know, he probably took the video from the same darn storm that took out the bridge up the road at the Legion. You know, there's been a couple of series of storms that have been just really bad. I think, you know, the real fix is to get in that hole and do it right. And, you know,
well, I mean, it's a wetlands, it's in our purview. Because it is a stream, it overflows, it causes problems. I don't wanna just say, well, whatever happens, that isn't gonna work. I mean, we can do another letter to Public Works, which usually gets ignored.
well, and Public Works rightly say, so we don't even have the right to be there, nor did they build it. I mean, they didn't construct it. You know, this subdivision was, you know,
Well,
So would the garage owner have to bring the application? Somebody's gotta sponsor the.
yeah, I mean, Grillo, the property owner whose lawn is getting flooded around his house, he could bring an application to extend that berm a little higher up, which would protect his property from water overflowing around his septic system, around his house and everything else. With leaving the current property owner with the garage with an issue. And maybe if he had the issue, something might be done.
well, it floods his whole backyard. Oh, his whole backyard gets flooded too. It's a, you know, and when I saw there, you know, a couple Sundays ago, whole thing's full of leaves. I couldn't see the hole at all. I wasn't gonna go down there.
Have you had a conversation with Mr. Grillo?
Yeah, well, I went out there that Sunday because I couldn't get a hold of him, so I,
What's he looking for?
well, he said he's looking for what would be the right answer. You know, he said, what's gonna work? He goes, that's, you know, and like I said, I said, you put the berm up and it's not going to stop it from flooding. And based on what I saw, if you put a berm up, I don't know if it has enough erosion factor to tear it away. You know, I mean, this is one of these cases that ought to be done right the first time and be over with it. So I kinda wanted to get the price of this and go back to him and the property owner next door and say, here's the other thing too, is I have to contact one of the guys at Public Work. My recollection is they complained about having to drop a backhoe, the mini, into that hole.
Yeah.
With it, I mean.
Yeah.
How deep is that pipe?
Well, let's,
That's why, yeah,
let's do this. Let's put this on our schedule for a field walk again.
alright.
So at least the rest of the commission can see what's
Yeah.
there, and maybe maybe others have other ideas.
And let me
But we've
also,
gotta find a resolution for this.
I gotta also find out how deep that hole is, cause that's
Yeah, that's deep.
it's,
That is deep.
if it's deep, then the whole thing technically should be excavated away so you can get in there with a small machine to clean it every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it needs cleaning, there was no leaves before.
Yeah.
You know, when this thing was approved, that hillside was saplings at best.
All right, I'll make a motion that we add this again to our field walk list for the next time and for the rest of the commission to be able to see, because I'm the only one other than you that's actually seen it. And then maybe the next meeting, we can figure out where we're gonna put this. We're gonna approach Public Works and say, hey, can you do, are you willing to do something? And they say, no, we have no easements, we're not gonna do anything. And I think it's gonna put us back to the berm. And, you know, there's gonna be a whole series of things that are gonna happen that maybe cause this to be resolved down the road.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. All right, don't mean to put any burden on you, Jim, but you know, I just don't feel like I can walk away from this.
No,
At this point.
no, but I still owe them, you know, some numbers on it.
Okay. Enforcement officers report, do you have anything?
Nothing special, no.
Have you gotten any response on the letter from Public Works?
Nope.
Are you hearing any rumors?
Nothing.
Because I did hear one that a higher up was not happy with the letter.
Oh.
So.
Nope, haven't even heard that. Nobody talks to me anymore.
Well, I mean, I'll just give you a heads up, if we don't get a response by our next meeting, I mean, even if it's, hey, I need more time to put together a as-built, I think I need to talk with our attorney and see what options we have with the town. Get some movement. Because my sense is there will be no movement, there won't be anything, so. But I'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
Talk with our attorney. Proposed forestry regulation, that's on hold, I guess.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, maybe I'll clear the deck on some other stuff and bring it up and do it, cause I haven't gotten a response from the state after I submitted it, so. My thought is just schedule a public hearing, and if they don't like it, tough luck. I've asked them to respond, so. I'll put Mr. Zito on my email again.
Anything else for the good of the order? If not, we have a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.